Maybe. Oh, you talking about the 24 man? I think you might be able to get it. I'll create a fellowship later. Food. Like useless. What's that? Half shell. See, I hope you bring here means you had. What did I fill? I haven't since you last visit. I planned. I hope I told you about, but you feel so as the link shell. So you light throughout. The place stop. They say the fighting place out grim and dark, and the Emperor showed no sign of movement. To moment time first. For me. Ooh. Turns to the House of Splinters. Which station will you join me? No? We're just gonna have mod first. Chose the path to get to New Oracle, this girl who decorated Marine. I just upon her as a child, only to embrace it when given a choice. I respect it, I quite like it seems her legacy is indeed in capable hands. Aww. Real. Also wish I get this to the head. Cross of the Stones. Do the patience. To examine them.
You're here. Good.
So, how are they?
Still locked in slumber, but otherwise in good physical health. For the present, at least.
For the present? Oh no, is something wrong with them?
I'm afraid there may be. I summoned you after detecting faint signs of instability in Thancred's corporeal ether. But subsequent examination suggested all 5 might be affected. And when I examined them just now, my fears were confirmed. Tellingly, the degree of instability varies between them. Thancred exhibits the most notable signs, followed by Y'shtola and Urianger. The twins' ether, meanwhile, remains relatively stable, but there is a change there too if one knows to look for it.
Hold on. Isn't that the order they were called away in?
Indeed. Which leads me to believe the instability will only increase with time. Though I can but speculate, I fear this may be a symptom of a weakening link between body and soul.
By the gods! What happens if the link is broken?
I cannot say for certain. This is all unknown territory to us. Yet whatever happens, it cannot be good. Mercifully, the instability is still only slight. And you may rest assured, Master Matoya and I will do everything in our power to keep it from worsening. Be that as it may, it is imperative that you find a way to restore our friends' souls to their bodies.
Leave it to me.
Thank you.
But where's he even supposed to start? We had the greatest minds in the realm hunting high and low for an answer, and they ran out of places to look.
You stated in your report that the Exarch had originally intended to reverse the summoning process by means of his own death, correct? Raha always was a reckless young fool, ready to die for the first righteous cause that came along. His plan might well have worked, but I for one am glad he never had the opportunity to see it through. Even if it does mean our friends must remain stranded a while longer. There is another way, I am sure of it. And the key lies with him, with the Exarch. Pray return to the First and apprise him and the others of the situation. We, meanwhile, will do what we can from here. And, if the fates are kind, we will have good news to share upon your return.
His fellow Primal Hunters have welcome to peace while you've been away. This shit also show we do our utmost to assist. Let's just cry all there. Let's just. What's here? Show silence. Vad är det som nu?
Pray excuse my late arrival.
Will Thancred and Reen not be joining us?
Nay, milady. With apologies to all, they beg leave to pursue their investigation of the empty to its conclusion. Should matters here demand their presence, however, they did assure me that they would make themselves available.
Yes, of course. Then let us proceed. I think it best that you begin by providing a summary of Mistress Kryle's findings.
Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah.
I suppose it was only to be expected that some change would occur.
Yet our souls seem unaffected, to my eye at least. How long they will remain so is another question. Kryle is right. It is imperative we find a way to return to the source.
Perhaps an explanation of the method by which I brought you here will yield some inspiration. Ere I begin, it must be noted that I am by no means a gifted mage. In order to employ powerful magics, I must rely upon the Crystal Tower and its boundless reservoirs of energy. The magic that summoned you was no exception. 'Tis a singular spell, adapted through painstaking effort from the technique that transported me to the first. To use an analogy, it works by cutting a hole in the fabric of reality. A hole tailored to the object of summoning, through which it and it alone may pass unscathed. Though I succeeded in creating said hole, I failed to latch onto my intended target. Instead of you, the spell found those close to you, and ended up summoning them in their incomplete state. I would not soon throw my life away, not after the lengths you and yours went to save it. And so long as I breathe, I will spare no effort to see you safely home. But should all else fail, and your lives be at stake, there remains one sure method.
Oh! What was that for?
How can you even entertain such thoughts? You owe your life to the Warrior of Light, and you don't get to die unless he says so.
Vad väl säger.
Your followers await your divine judgment.
What did you just...
If the two of you have finished, perhaps we could return to our discussion? Rather than dwelling upon the multiple failed attempts at transference, I think it would behoove us to focus on the solitary success. I would draw your attention to the fact that our friend can travel between worlds possessed not only of his body and soul, but his personal effects besides. This is no different from the teleportation magics to which we are all accustomed. Magics that allow for the transportation of those inanimate objects one considers to be an extension of oneself.
Are you suggesting that simply by considering us his possessions, he could carry our souls back to the source upon his person?
Well, it would be nice if things were that simple for a change. But vague notions of ownership seem a rather tenuous thing to stake our lives on. So much as a moment of doubt on his part, and we'd be left floating in the rift.
Milady hath the right of it. The requisite fixity of belief would be too much to ask even of our friend. Yet, were we to immure our souls within an object in his possession, mayhap then our safe passage could be assured. White Auracite would, I believe, serve as a suitable vessel for this purpose. It was conceived to imprison the massy soul of an Ascian, and should house one of ours with relative ease. We would need only to ensure our soul's safe preservation inside the stone, and identify a means by which they might be transferred back unto our vacant bodies.
Soul preservation and transference. I believe I know of someone who may be able to assist us. On the far shore of the source, there stands a great palace built by the elves. It was forsaken in the wake of the flood, but a certain Numo chose to make their home there soon after. Though they have long lived as a recluse, they once occupied a place of honor in Verbert's royal court, and it is said that none in all of Norvrant is more knowledgeable than they on matters of the soul.
Well, I've no objection to seeking a helping hand, but if they've gone to such lengths to hide themselves away from the world, what makes you think they'd be willing to lend us one?
A worthy question. Years ago, I myself tried and failed to solicit their cooperation in the battle against the Sin Eaters. No sooner had I begun to make my plea than they unleashed a swarm of their familiars upon me. Unlike me, however, you have curried favor with the Faithfolk. By that merit alone, I am hopeful that they would grant you an audience. They may still be inclined to turn you away, of course, but if their knowledge might feasibly facilitate your return home, we have to try.
What's in the half shell? So the access to self-sacrifice. Was once home to the world's greatest myth. Grand adventure. Next round would waste no time in seeking help for your stranded comrades. Great cosmos, the paths we seek and up the source on shore. Show the source. Let's see to the way I'll say. Alright. There's a lot of people on this dock. Who's the NPC? Who's not an NPC? This is places. This is awful old. After you fall, I seem to set foot in the past grounds when I was set upon by our close familiar. You may give up into looks like this is a fight. Choose a good north. Says nothing in the character, no less. Choose the high to source from the world. So the audience. You're even copying me. Sit. Grand Cosmos. Can't imagine what now the beast keeps card out here that they will for this camp.
Very well.
Let's do this. Dungeon time.
That was my fiercest familiar. Oh, impressive.
Backlook, 'tis good to see you again after all these years. And judging by your vigorous greeting, I dare say the feeling is mutual. To be sure, a simple shake of the hand would have sufficed by way of welcome, but I shan't complain. But you must be wondering as to the purpose of our visit. We come to beg your assistance in a most urgent matter.
Shake? Beg?
Our comrades' very souls are in danger. If we are to save them, we will need the benefit of your unsurpassed knowledge on the matter. Please, will you not sit and hear our plea?
Oh, how dare you! How dare you speak thus in my presence! It was to escape such words of temptation that I hid myself from the world of men.
Temptation, he's a dog.
You are sinners, one and all, and I swore never again to have any part in your affairs.
I can only imagine what terrible events forced you into a life of seclusion. But I know that the Numo are a good and noble folk. It is not in your nature to turn a blind eye to the plight of those around you. And in treating with us, I am certain whatever mistrust you feel for man will begin to heal.
If you will not be satisfied, I suppose I could listen. After all, there's no harm in just... No, I mustn't. Not again. That damn court mage seemed to have the best of intentions too, and countless innocents died for my naivety. Oh, you know not what you ask of me. What horrors my knowledge has wrought.
Oh, this is from... It's from the tank world quest.
You know of the plague? Then you know how dangerous soulcraft can be. Instead of saving your friends, you risk damning them. Are you sure you're willing to take that chance?
No. No.
Oh, very well. I will hear your petition, but that is all. And I expect fitting payment for my troubles.
Commensurate with your contribution to our cause. No more and no less, I promise you. With that settled, might I impose upon you to join us at the Crystarium? I'm afraid the nature of my friend's predicament calls for absolute secrecy.
The Crystarium. Can't see anyone. I guess Alpha is the only one here. Wish I had used such words for treating with them. Enter the Grand Castle of Seas. Right. Unlock that dungeon. What's next? King Salmon. Darkhead. Ooh, a rare roast beef. I want to do it just to get the food. Sure, what's the first one? Cutscene time.
Let us begin. I trust you've prepared the clay? Very good. Now, I would have you sculpt for me a porksy. plump, with floppy ears and a short curly tail.
A porksy. I think I know what you mean. There we are. How's that?
Well, it is certainly creative. There's no denying that.
Someone's gonna get hit.
Yes, I'm no artist. Very funny.
Pay him no mind, child. Though it may look like a grotesque parody of reality, it is what the invoker believes that matters.
Aww.
You're not helping.
But I speak the truth. If successful, this incantation will turn imagination into reality. Which is why the only thing of import is what you believe this figure embodies. You must focus. Hold the Porksy's image steady in your mind's eye. Now then, as I taught you, relax and allow your energies to flow.
With flesh of clay I bid thee rise, on wings of dreams to touch the skies. What once was idle fantasy, I call forth to reality.
Not bad for a first attempt. Now, let us see what can be done for young Halric. Through the operation of the magics you invoked to animate this familiar, it is now replete with the energies required to stir the boy's soul. You need but give it a name, and it will do as your heart desires.
A name. All right, I've decided. Now. Go, Angelo!
Describing the magic smoker saves us shoot the subject. Full recovery. Animations. Fish a spell to produce the opposite effect, that is to induce stagnation. Since the soul is rendered dormant, the mind is separated from the body, the person becomes capable of interacting with the world around them. The temper back to the source? Is the fate most temperers become slaves to parameters, slaves to a handful of cases. Let me see something. I can master the art of revitalizing the soul. I know of at least one source who could display such treatment. Gaboo! She's canning similar to Horrocks. It's not. The only difference being his soul was infused with earth aspect of ether instead of light. It follows that if his soul is subject to a similar kind of stagnation, there may be a chance we can save him. Huh. Does not seem here. There is much and more about the soul that remains unknown, even to me. Just look at what there is. What's here? Small town island. Turn the Chrysolium with. See if you can make some headway. Chrysolium then. Sure. Oh, it's Yumo then. Pixie berry tea. Potato salad. Still speed crit. Eat up. Potato salad.
Right then. Form a line and make for Yulmore.
What's that noise? Wicked, White! Run away, Talos! Call the guard!
What's one guard gonna do?
Stay back! All of you! Is that...
Darling, you're back.
But of course I'm back. You didn't see...
Yes, I can't...
Oh, oh dear.
Oh, thank you.
I'm sorry, my darling. It's just the sight of you filled me with such joy, I couldn't help myself.
Oh, no, it's all right, dear. I should have just come out and said what it was I was intending, instead of entrusting the task to a hastily scribbled letter.
Does that mean you'll do it?
Well, I'm here, aren't I? I mean, not that my absence signified any unwillingness, you understand? Oh, no, naught could be further from the truth. I only left to enlist the aid of the former mayor's senior advisor. And now that I have it, I believe I am ready to take office.
Oh, how wonderful!
Dearest, please!
Is that your speech? So just for the solve necessities. They realize we are weaken most perilously in the process of rendering our souls dominant. Said Dot Square, with thy fleshly. Supposed to channel your minds into the other side. Instead, but we would more than likely sacrifice your souls in the process. Then the plan instead, one time to find a means by which mind and soul might be transported together. Doga and Una. Royal Isle of Alag. Royal memories of each Alag. He understands technology by which the Alagans were into. to a soul crystal will put not only with our worldly memory but also our wonderful entities of the soul. Knowledge on the A's of first. I've been thinking to our bodies. Alright. I'm back. So I'm seeing the play sequence. Alright. Stretch it out. Sip for my drink. Cutscene time.
Sorry to keep you waiting. I've carried out the treatment as per Master Matoya's instructions. It should slow the destabilization of their corporeal ether quite significantly. But tell me, how fare our friends in the first?
So this Becklug's the first to lead an authority on soulcraft, are they? Sounds promising.
Backlog. That's his name.
And Urianger's proffered solution of white auracite is rather ingenious now that I think of it. Well, while they press on with their preparations, you may rest assured we will continue to do our part here.
Oh, you're back.
Stinian.
And none the worse for wear, I see.
Estinian! Oh, thank the gods! We've been worried sick. Did you lose your link pearl or something?
The situation in Garlemald has become more complicated.
I was making my escape from the capital when I ran into one of yours, Riol. He thought it best we come straight here.
More complicated how?
Where to begin? After entering the Empire via Razat Han, I went about my mission of investigating Black Rose. It was then, inside a provincial factory, that I encountered the one who styles himself Shadow Hunter, Gaius Baelsar. Our goals being apparently aligned, we joined forces and ventured on into the heart of the capital, to the very Imperial Palace itself. There, we found a man whom all assumed dead. But his soul lives on, and he has wrested back his flesh. Xenos Ye Galvas. Nor did the surprises end there. For no sooner had we arrived than he murdered his sire in cold blood. The Emperor is dead. This sent Gaius into a rage, and he charged in, blade drawn.
Echo time.
What's wrong?
Pearl too. Knock over the edge drag with us, but this may suffice. God damn. Signals with magic is terrifying. Abomination. Amos smelling is supposed to be spoiled. The world conspires to follow me. Excellent. You put all magic armor to escape. Just as he always. Golem Wolven's cool. I hope I'm going the right way. Somebody's been busy. What the heck is this? Arc Ultima. Prototype. They're developing weapons. God, it's damn scary.
Taste my lance!
Ooh. Shivers. God, that thing's so creepy. Diese Machina.
Are you all right?
Peer into my past, did you?
Well, I didn't quite relive the experience as you did, but I bore witness to it all.
I'm still not sure what I think of this gift of yours. But no matter. Our confrontation was cut short when the Imperial Guard arrived. It was then that Xenos took his leave, citing boredom.
To think their research into the Echo could bear such fruit. Escaping death, jumping from one body to the next, and returning to his own after all this time. He is an Ascian in all but name.
It beggars belief, aye. But no more than a hero traversing the rift between worlds. My concerns are far more prosaic. With the Emperor dead and the Crown Prince missing, the Empire is in disarray. Until order is restored, assuming it even possible, we needn't fear an Imperial reprisal. And for reasons of his own, Xenos took it upon himself to rid the world of Black Rose. Riol has already gone to apprise the Alliance leaders of these developments. We may leave the matter in their hands for now.
Then perhaps we have seen the last of the fighting at Gimlet. Though, if it comes to civil war, I cannot help but fear for the provinces. Ah, I'd nearly forgotten to ask. What became of Gaius? Did he not escape with you?
That he did, but we parted ways shortly after leaving Garlemald. He claimed another threat had arisen which demanded his attention. He didn't elaborate, but the absence of some device or other in the capital gave him reason to believe they're planning something. Lest you worry, I believe he has well and truly shed the Black Wolf's pelt. Conquest is no longer his objective. We may safely leave him to his own devices.
Well, it's nice to have one less foe to worry about, even if we do have a mysterious new threat to look out for instead. Speaking of which, I'll see that Riel and Al Shinobi are made aware. Though we still know next to nothing, it can't hurt to be vigilant.
Well then, with Black Rose nipped in the bud, I believe I've fulfilled my part of the bargain.
That's true, but with the Archon still slumbering away, we were hoping you might agree to stay with us for a little bit longer.
Sorry, but I'm not inclined to extend my contract. Gaius isn't the only one with business to attend to.
Thank you for your help then, Estinian. I see why Alphino admires you so.
Farewell, my friend. See that you don't make a habit of dozing off in battle.
I suppose we should all be getting on then. As ever, we will see to the Archon's needs. In the meantime, why not get some rest? You've more than earned it. Go on.
Yeah. One last cutscene. Dear denied Lord Nerva Patron. The Civil War. This is boring, boring, boring. Elizabeth. Wait. Evan Adele. Well, I know full well the previews. So, who are you? Dang, White Robes. It was Elizabeth. Zelos probably would have known. You're more on the first. Just revealing to the stores and they're looking for livers. Or there's two. 4 more is that. I hope I don't know what it is. Hmm? Oh. Yes, so long as I yet live to see the feeble statement we can do. What? Let's just see to see our dreams fulfilled. Huh! I did not see that coming.